Well, hey there, everybody. Hope you can hear me. It's Hank Linderman. I'm here in lovely Falls of Rough, Kentucky, here in Grayson County, deep in the 2nd District. In fact, I think the borderline between Grayson and Breck County is right out there in the water. Looks like Bill McNichol is here, which is great. There's so much to talk to you about. Hi, Nancy. Hey, Jeff Whitman. It's great to have you all here. What can I talk to you about today? It's been quite a week, and Mark Andes is here. Mark from the legendary band Spirit, the legendary band JoJo Gunn, the legendary band's Heart, and so on and so on. So glad to have Mark here. My wife is here, and some of you haven't guessed what the... Actually, we got a guess about why our wedding anniversary was tomorrow, Pam, that I'll share with you, that came from Simon and Louise, and I think they completely got it wrong, but in a funny way. So, oh good, my microphone is now working. Kat Ellis is here, Barbara is here, Nancy Weller is here. This is so great. I'm so glad you're all here. I'm your Democratic nominee for Congress here in Kentucky's 2nd District. I'm what I would call proudly progressive and populist. Sounds kind of confusing, but when I tell people that I'm progressive, you know, here in Kentucky, they want to say, hey, Craig Alexander, I'm glad you're here. They want to say, you know, when you're progressive, you're too progressive for Kentucky. Oh, there's Robbie Scharf. There's Julie Barden. How are you all doing? Anyway, when you say you're progressive, you're too progressive for Kentucky or something like that. But I say progressive populist. And some of that is that I recognize, being a guy that came from the creative arts, Gary Dockery is here. I'm glad you're here, Gary. Being from the creative arts, I know that you have to have all viewpoints present. I'm progressive and populist, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to listen to a conservative viewpoint. And if they've got an answer for a problem we can't solve, let's use it. Let's work together. That's what ultimately Americans have to do. Now, we haven't done very much of that for a while. So I'm getting ready to go to some numbers here. And like I say, I was all prepared to show you all kinds of pretty things, but can't do it today. Let's look at the numbers for yesterday, July 10th, okay? The USA, unfortunately, our new cases continue to rise. We had just over 61,000 new cases yesterday and just short of 1,000 deaths, which is really terrible. 960 deaths. We are not out of it here, and we are, of course, we have the most cases in the world. We have the most new cases in the world. We have the most total deaths. So we're, you know, the whole world. Brazil has more new deaths than we do. Hi, Mary Richardson. I'm glad you're here. So glad you're here. Anyway. Let's look a little bit at Texas is still leading. Reggie Helm is here. Hey, you Rough River Radical. That's a little bit of alliteration. Rough River Radical. Say that 4 times fast. Good luck. Unfortunately, Texas is still leading the way, and they've got looks like a new record for them, over 11,394 new cases. So, as we can see, this is, you know, really not... We're not really doing our job yet in the United States, and we've got to do something. So, folks, I hope you're paying attention to the things that can put you in danger of picking up the virus. You got no idea when you're going to get it or who you're going to get it from. My friend who got it said, I'm the only one among my friends who got it. I was wearing a mask all the time. We were being really careful. And he was sick for 10 days and was in the hospital for quite a time. So there's no predicting what it's going to do to you. So, you know, we all need to be very, very careful. Well, as always, I need to remind you all to share this Facebook Live. We have hit over 1,000 views every day this week, and that's just fantastic. And we need to do more. So please do me a favor, Mary. I hope you'll share. Let's see who else we got. Reggie, you better share, buddy. Gary, do us a share if you can. Julie Barden, Robbie, share us, baby. Craig Alexander, let's do that share thing. So first story I want to talk to you about, you know, before I start to talk about a story, I want to tell you all about something I found out about recently. And I watched last night Facebook Live with a gentleman named Maxwell and I've posted him on my Facebook page, a link to him. His name is Maxwell Mitchell. And Maxwell is a young man who's been streaming the protests in Louisville every night. Last night, he had 2,500 people watching live. He had 1,000 shares, and I want to say, let me see how many people watched. Anyway, he had just kind of crazy numbers, but it was fascinating to be there on the street during the protest and interacting with the police, and it's just an incredible situation. This is an incredible moment in time here in the United States, and if you're black, this is a moment you've been waiting for a long time, where we're, as a nation, looking like we're going to at least pay attention to doing something about systemic racism and systemic inequality, social and economic. But we've got quite a ways to go. Well, anyway, one of the guys who was part of these protests, at least in the past month, is Charles Booker. Now, Charles Booker kind of came out of nowhere and did very, very well in the primary. He didn't win, but he's a progressive, and the New York Times just did a story on Charles, and the headline says, Charles Booker says progressives should show up and listen to deep red districts. Ed Swain is here. Ed, I'm glad you're here. Do me a favor and share this, please. Share as much as you can. Share this thing. So progressive candidates have struggled this year outside of liberal cities and states, from the presidential race to congressional ones. What would it take for progressives to build a winning coalition within the Democratic Party? And that's kind of been my life's work here right now. Yes, Mary, it does look beautiful here. And Bill is going to let us know that we need to share the broadcast. I'm going to let me try and re-angle this a little bit. Loretta is here, my friend from, Loretta, you're from New Jersey, I think. Let's see if I can move over a little bit and give you all a better view of the lake. That's a little bit better, but it's not much better. But you can kind of see the water through the trees. Anyway, one of the things Charles says relates to the similarities between people who are struggling in the west end of Louisville and people who are struggling in rural America. And that has been my whole purpose. That's why I have worked on the Contract for Rural and Working America, which is, by the way, at the website, hank4ky.com. You can get your own copy of the Contract for Rural and Working America, because I believe we can't move forward as a nation until we begin to address the problems in rural America and the problems that working people face. These will also be the same sort of things we need to do on the west end of Louisville, wherever there are people who work, wherever there are people who are disadvantaged. Okay, so that's the idea. We have disadvantaged people, too many of them now in the country. Anyway, so they talked to Charles about it, and one of the things he said was, regardless of your political ideology, especially in a place like Kentucky, everybody's broke and everybody's struggling, and everybody's they're trying to figure out how to keep food on the table, keep the lights on, take care of their family, and protect their livelihood. Rich Campbell's here. Rich is going to share, I know. Rain is here. Hi, Rain. Thanks for being here. Please share if you can. And Charles goes on to say, what I tell folks is that, honestly, we should take some notes from a Donald Trump, being careful when you do. You know, the thing I say about President Trump is that President Trump at least acknowledged rural America and working America. He said to them, he said to us here in rural America and people who work, he said, you all are getting screwed. He at least acknowledged them. What they didn't hear him say was, now it's my turn. Because he hasn't yet delivered for rural and working America, but at least he acknowledged them. And that's that's one thing Democrats need to do right away, and that's what I'm doing here in the 2nd District. That's why we have the Contract for Rural and Working America. He says, this is back to Charles Booker. He says, he called out that the system's broken, and he spoke to people that for a long time felt like nobody even knew they existed. He goes on to say now he was stoking hatred and racism and weaponizing it, but one of the truths here is that the system is broken, and I agree completely. Mark Andy says, happy anniversary. Thank you, Mark. 38 years. Johnny Few is watching. Hi, Johnny. Please do us a favor and share. And Charles suggests that we go to these places that are deep red, that we show up and listen, but we lean into our progressive values, our progressive populist values. Now, That is exactly what I'm doing here. I ran for Congress in 2018. I was active all last year. I worked all last year trying to help get Andy elected, trying to help get other Democrats elected. I showed up. I contributed. I co-sponsored events. Oh, thank you, Rain. Thank you so much. But this is where, to me, this is where the country begins to heal. If we can confront our problems in rural America, this is our opportunity to fix things. So that's what Charles had to say. And Charles, give me a call, man. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Monica Richardson's here. Monica, please do me a favor and share this and say hey to your sons and to your husband for me. Now, here's something else I want to talk about. I've got to find this. I'm a little bit disorganized today. I apologize to all of you. Steve Mnuchin is our Secretary of the Treasury, and I've got a picture of him, and the headline here on the Hill, Steve Mnuchin says, the next stimulus bill must cap jobless benefits at 100% of your previous income. Hi, Beth. I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about Steve Mnuchin for just a moment. Steve Mnuchin is a venture capitalist who, after the 2008-2009 meltdown, hi, Greg. How are you? I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Greg. I'd love to go national. Share us. We're planning on going national some way or another. That's the trick, is going national without compromising, and I'm not interested in selling out. I really believe that we have some of the answers here. Mark Bookin is here. Mark, I haven't had a chance to call your brother yet, but I will, I promise, and thank you for connecting me. Anyway, Steve Mnuchin got very, very wealthy after 2008-2009 when he and a group of other people he was working with went out and bought various bits of real estate that were under distress, and they made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Chad is here. Chad, I'm glad you're here. And do us a favor and share. Chad, you're new here. Thanks for being here. So go ahead and share. And Loretta, thank you for being here. Yeah, I just like talking with you all, and I know so many of you, and it's you didn't. Bill is trying to call me. I haven't seen the phone call. Oh, I wasn't looking at that phone. Ricky Puckett, call me on the black phone, on the other phone, the phone I called you on, Bill. We'll see how that worked. Anyway, I love talking to you all, and I really appreciate it. Steve Mnuchin got very, very wealthy, taking advantage of the real estate crash. And if you've got money and leverage, you can make that work for you. So he now is upset because some people who work, especially gig workers. Now, I'm a musician. I've earned my living as a musician. We are the original gig workers, as far as I can tell. Lisa's here. Thanks for being here, Lisa. Do us a favor and share this so that we can reach a wider audience. Oh, Billy is calling. Uh-oh. Hey, Bill.
Hello. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I have a really important message for you.
Okay.
Okay, so, I'm just taking care of some drum stuff, doing some sessions, and I just shared your broadcast to about 40 different entities.
Oh, wow.
And I just wanted, yeah. And I just wanted to remind you, just have your viewers share the damn video. I'm trying to get you elected here.
All right. Okay, Bill. Well, I'm actually live right now. Okay. Okay. I'll talk to you later.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
You got it.
Bill McNichol. Yes, Bill McNichol wants us to share, so I hope you all will share, or Bill's going to be yelling at me again. He's going to pick on me. Back to Steve Mnuchin. Yes, Monica, it is wonderful here. We just love it here. It's fantastic. So Steve Mnuchin is upset because people who, like me, who are gig workers, or people who work in restaurants, or people who deliver food, are in some cases are. Pam says, share the damn video, wear the damn mask. Yeah, please do. In some cases, people are earning, or they're getting more money in stimulus funds, in help, in unemployment than they were getting when they worked. So Steve Mnuchin says we can't have that. We'll make sure they don't get any more money than they ever actually earned. He's got this completely wrong. The problem is working people haven't been getting paid enough. And here in the 2nd District, we got a city called Owensboro. It's just up the road from me. And Owensboro, according to one of the one of my dear friends who lives there says, you know, Owensboro was number 2 on a really bad list. Longest hours worked, lowest wages paid. We have pushed working people to the limit. And Steve Mnuchin has just simply got this completely wrong. That's really about all I want to say about that. I don't want to give him a lot of air. I don't want to give him a lot of, I mean, he's complaining that, okay, I'm getting angry. I'm getting angry. I've heard stories where companies are trying to get people back to work. They won't come back because of the enhanced unemployment, but we'll fix that. We'll figure out an extension so it works for companies. Yeah, I know. Well, enough of that. You know, I sat down today, and it's Friday, so I get to take some time off. I'm not going to be back until Monday, and I thought I would give a little speech, if that's okay. And I want to talk to you. Yes, Monica, we are all angry. And what I say to everybody is, it's okay to be angry, but you use that instead of, you know, losing your temper, because we got a long way to go before November. We got a lot of work to do before November. And there's a way you can take that energy from the anger and you channel it into determination. And you channel that into being able to do the job that needs to be done. So yeah, let's do that. Mary Parado is here. I haven't seen Mary's face for quite some time. Mary, I'm glad you're here. Do us a favor. Share the video. All right. So here's some thoughts I wrote down today, and I want to share them with you. And after that, I'm going to say goodbye and wish you all a happy weekend. And I do want to remind you all, wear the mask. Take care of yourselves. You know, it's low risk to go through your mail. It's low risk to... It's a little bit more risk to go to the grocery store. You're getting risky when you start to have dinner over at a friend's house. But don't go to bars. When you're out in public, wear the mask. Take care of each other. Rico is here. I'm glad you're here. Rico, go do me a favor and share this. Well, anyway, here we go. These are my thoughts for the end of the week. America has been hijacked by free marketeers, and we are all paying the price for that now. They sold us the lie of trickle down, a concept that has only worked for the wealthiest. They sold us on the fiction of a free market, one that they controlled. They gave themselves tax breaks. They held down the wages of those of us who work. And they bought our government, getting laws passed that legalized and institutionalized their hold on power. Now, the idea that money, that profits, position, and leverage should be the basis for every social decision in the United States has led us to this point: a society that has utterly failed to control a virus, a healthcare system that is struggling, a president who has allowed tens of thousands to die unnecessarily rather than see the stock index suffer. You know, it wasn't profitable to prepare for an epidemic. President Trump said regarding our pandemic response team, "I'm a businessman. I don't like paying 1,800 people who aren't working. Don't worry, we'll be able to hire them back when we need them." And so here we are. We have offshored our ability to make things. And far too many profit-seeking healthcare vultures are up to their usual shenanigans, practically licking their chops at how rich they're all going to become once they find a med, any med, that they can sell for an inflated but perfectly reasonable price. Never mind that the American people might have helped to pay to develop that drug. But here's the thing. They've all gone too far, and the evidence has become impossible to ignore. Their willingness to view every American as a source of potential profit has left working people and families devastated. The very stability of our society is crumbling. The entire structure feels like it's about to fall down. And if it does, it'll take all of us, the rich and the poor, down with it. We cannot succeed as a nation if our working people are underpaid and routinely work to exhaustion. We cannot succeed as a nation if our families continue to lose their homes and life savings simply because a family member gets sick. We cannot succeed as a nation if discrimination of any kind continues. And we cannot succeed as a nation if we continue to allow radically corrupt and wealthy politicians to subvert our democracy. I'm looking at you, Mitch McConnell. I'm looking at you, Brett Guthrie. You've both become incredibly wealthy. When you were supposed to be serving Kentucky, you've used your privilege, your power, and your position to feather your own nests, and your radical corruption has poisoned America. It's time for both of you to leave. Now, the good news is this. We are all living in a profound moment of change. Everything seems to be moving. The very earth seems to be shifting beneath our feet. The change can be frightening. But this is no time to run away and hide. It's time for all of us to stand up and work together, to rebuild the American dream for all Americans, not just for the rich and powerful, but for the poor, the hungry, the sick, and the weak. This will not be easy. It will take courage. I pray to God that we find it. There's too much at stake for us to fail. Let's all commit to doing the right thing, to restoring decency and honor to the United States of America. Folks, it's cleanup time. All right. I hope you all have a great weekend. Please be careful. Please be safe. And I'll see you next Monday, this coming Monday at 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. And I will talk to you all later. Hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.